The first workflow we'll focus on today surrounds the remote operating center and how a remote operator can acknowledge alarms and access and upload standard operating procedures, and then notify the organization of critical events that are happening on the site. We have 6 steps to this process, so we'll go one by one on, starting first with the process of how a user uploads a standard operating procedure or a standard document to the Bazefield web portal. To upload a standard operating procedure, or any document for that matter, the user needs to navigate to our operations management application. To do that, you can begin to type operations in the upper left search bar and go to operations management, or you can use the menus and drill into the operations management app directly. From there, we simply navigate to the documents tab and select new document. This will allow the system to access your local file drive and for you to choose a file on your local machine. Let's take my wind gearbox inspection SOP, which could be used for maybe to attach to any gearbox related alarm that I see in the system. So I'm going to upload this, give it a name and a description. And hit save. And from there, it is saved in the system and can now be used in step 2 to attach it to a pertinent alarm. The easiest way to attach that standard operating procedure is through event operations itself. To navigate to event operations, you can either type event operations in the search menu, or you can go into your monitoring suite of applications and find it right here on the left-hand side. Event operations will load with your system default filter template. My user, I am looking at just active events, and I'm specifically looking at alarms, not warnings or statuses, and I'm looking at those which are just unacknowledged. I'm going to go ahead and clear those filters for now, and I'm going to search for anything gearbox related, since what I just attached was a gearbox SOP document. So if I click search on gearbox, this will load up anything with the word gearbox of any real-time alarm that's been telemetrized into the system. Let's take this event code 77 gearbox oil over temperature. From here, I'm going to click the plus button and select edit event definition. This will load up all the metadata associated with event code 77. For this demonstration, I'll navigate to the operations template and I'll fill in the recommended actions and the default documents that might be associated with this event. You can see I've already pre-saved a long text string of the recommended actions, which may be used by the operator to summarize what they need to do to resolve this alarm. And then from the documents, I can just select that gearbox inspection standard operating procedure from there and click save. This will then associate that document with this event. So when all is said and done, now that you've had an SOP and a corrective action set on this alarm code, as you use that system, when you hover over event code 77 and click the remark button, the user, the operator, will see directly what the recommended actions are, and they'll see the SOP document that was just attached to it to help them efficiently resolve this event. In addition to attaching an SOB and corrective actions to a given event, you may want to give your operators enhanced threat visibility if the event is truly critical. This can be done through pre-acknowledgement steps or acknowledgement settings on the event itself. These will be visual warnings that pop up with dialogues in the case when the operator tries to acknowledge this event. To demonstrate this, let's stay on event code 77 gearbox oil over temperature. To configure these pre-acknowledgement steps, we go back into the event definition user interface, and instead of the operations template tab, we will just navigate to the acknowledgement settings tab here on the third option here. So acknowledgement settings allow you a lot of different options. The warning message that will be displayed to the operator is fully customizable. You can see I've already typed in a warning message for this exact event. If it's a potential indicator that there's a safety issue or a critical gearbox failure potential because of it. You can also set a default comment. So requiring a comment for acknowledgement is just another safety precaution in the case you are forcing the operator to comment on why they are acknowledging it and what they might be doing next about this issue. So you can see I've required a comment, required the operator to place a comment in the acknowledgement and they will see this warning. As a super user option, you can even, at the time of acknowledgement, you can force the system to write a value to any point installed on this asset. This can be used for several different use cases that are a little bit more advanced. But for example, if you have a time series point that you want to track some type of gearbox health indication, and you want to write a value to 99 and timestamp it at the time of acknowledgement, that's what I've configured here. So I'm going to go ahead and save these settings. And what this essentially does is anytime now that the operator tries to acknowledge this specific code, there will be this warning and pop-up dialog, which gives them indication of what has been configured for them to see, and it gives them a little form to enter in a customizable comment on what they're doing and why they're acknowledging it. And when you hit acknowledge, the event is acknowledged, and this comment will be added to the event itself. So you can see this comment form is here. I click, and you can see the comment that this user just added. So now that we've configured both the standard operating procedure and the operations templates, as well as the acknowledgement settings, let's just again revisit the whole experience of the operator when they come across this specific event. This will be steps 4 to 6, where the operator again sees the corrective actions, downloads the standard operating procedure, they acknowledge the event, and then they notify the rest of the organization or certain members of the organization that the event is occurring. So now let's just walk through the full operator experience of this. As the operator sees event code 77, they can hover over the remark and click it. They'll get the detailed recommended actions and the SOP document that we attach to it. When they're ready to acknowledge it, they select acknowledge. They get the pre-acknowledgement warning with the steps and the warning dialog, where they can then enter the comment in why they're acknowledging or what they're doing about this. They select acknowledge. This will change the status of the event itself to acknowledged and attach the comment that they placed on the acknowledgement. And then from there, they might want to send an email. If this is a super critical event, they want to inform an engineer, say, for example, or inform an asset manager, or just inform a collection of users in a role. They just hit plus and select notify. And let's say I have a user group set up with all people associated with Wind Plant 2 that I want to send this email to. I select the role. I can change the subject of the email and the text itself. You can see we'll have a pre-configured link that will be sent to the email so that they can click that link and navigate right to event operations. And you can even reattach the standard operating procedure to the email itself. Hit save. This will then send an email to everybody that's part of Wind Plant 2 group, and it will save that action, which I just took, as part of the log of the event. So you have full traceability when even an email message was sent about an event.